Let's start today by reading from one of the Gospels of the Bible. The Gospels are made up of the first 4 books of the New Testament in the Bible and are the 4 biographical accounts of Jesus. In the first chapter of the 4th Gospel, John, it says, "In the beginning, the Word was already there. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. All things were made through him. Nothing that has been made was made without him. Life was in him, and that life was the light for all people. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not overcome the light. There was a man sent from God. His name was John. He came to be a witness about that light. He was a witness so that all people might believe. John himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light." This is only the first 8 verses of that chapter of John, so I encourage you to continue reading it on your own. But first I want to unpack with you this first section. It is saying that in the beginning was God. God existed when nothing else did. Nothing and no one created God. He just was. Then it goes on to say that God created literally everything. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. There's nothing that exists outside of the craftsmanship of God. In the very first chapter of the very first book of the Bible, Genesis, you can read about how God created the whole world and the sequence he created it in. The sun and stars, the sky being blue, the perfectly timed ocean tides, all animals on earth, in the water and in the sky, us, everything. It then mentions that in him was life, and that the life inside him was the light of all mankind. The light shines brightly in the darkness, and the darkness does not and cannot overcome it. The light and darkness John is referring to are life and death. You see, if we have a relationship with God and are constantly trying to be more like him, then we are showing God's light to this dark world. The darkness symbolizes a life without God, and it's saying that there's no way the darkness of the world can overpower the light of God. So how do we, you and me, get to be that light? Well, by having a relationship with God. One of the best ways we can grow our relationships with God is by going to church. At the end of the passage we read, "He himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light." Isn't that all of us? We ourselves are not the light. We are not God. We are sin-stained, imperfect, messy people. But the redeeming love of God and our constant work to be better allows us to show off some of his light.